they're just not competent enough to make their own decision in a way, because the heat they brought and the pressure, it was just absolutely insane. Like, you shouldn't be missing from inside the box, in my opinion. You shouldn't definitely not be flashing it across the goal. And I think we did get lucky, like very lucky. On another day, that could have been another 4-3 in my opinion. To put it simple, it's the Leeds way. We never make it easy, and I think...
Hello and welcome to the Elland Road Ramble podcast, brought to you by Sports News Blitz. I'm Sam, I'm here with my co-host Ellis, and we're here to chat basically everything Leeds and deal with both what's just happened and what will happen in the world of Leeds United.
Yeah.
So I think we'll start with the main talking point. Championship linesman, Ellis. What do we make of them?
You know what? I was speechless. Like, just how bad the officiating's been. It's just remarkable. Like, I understand a few, but you don't do twice in 2 games. Like, you just don't. Like, he's done it 3 times in a row, and I just think it comes to a point where you've got to ask questions how the officiating is in this league, and like, what are they doing? And there seems to be no response from the EFL apart from a little letter saying, "Well, we apologise on that." It's just
how many
apology
letters are we going to get this season? How many times are we going to have it happen? Because it's just because obviously I didn't know before kickoff. It was he'd disallowed the goals at Coventry and against Millwall, and then when it comes out, you're going, you don't want to call it bias, but there's got to be some questions asked.
Yeah, I think it comes to the point where, like, it's not even close. Like, I understand the Coventry and the Millwall one, they are close. But yesterday, they were just appalling. Like, for me, like, everyone knew he's onside. There's no, like, there's people are talking about VAR. Like, I understand that. Like, for reasons like that, I get. But it comes to the point, it's down to the referee. They have to take responsibility. And I think they're just not competent enough to make their own decision in a way, because I feel like a lot of Premier League referees are coming down to do the Championship, and they rely on VAR and technology too much. It comes to the point where they don't exactly back themselves, and I think that's a key aspect into what the EFL need to change, I believe.
Yeah, it does feel like they've got no confidence. I remember Rob Jones doing one of our fixtures. I can't remember which one it was now, but it just looked like he was like, you need support. You've got so used to that support system and someone in your ear, and now you're hung out to dry, and you are going to be judged on how do you handle situations when it is only your opinion.
Yeah, I think the main key yesterday was Tanaka's reaction. Like, he knew, and if a player does that, you know it's a bad decision. And like when it's all over Twitter, and it's not even the man marking Tanaka. It's the guy at the other end. It's
the other guy that played him on as well.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I think if we get him, or somehow he gets dropped, I think it is a blessing, because luckily we got the win. And to be honest, we were okay. I think they dominated us in midfield. Like, they had chances, and it comes to the point, if we drop points or we lost, it's 2 clear goals being disallowed, and obviously it's just not on, I don't believe.
Yeah, it's just watching the replay. I think you have the natural reaction of fans, especially in Elland Road. I'm immediately looking to linesmen if I have any doubt. But with those 2 goals, you went, they're on 100%. I know Bamford's had a reputation of being offside on plenty of occasions, but I think that one, even though it was a lot, I can understand the Bamford one.
It was a lot closer. Yeah, you're right.
But after Tanaka's, if you're making that same mistake, you're then going, hang on a minute here, what's going on? And if we had dropped points.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's very lucky we didn't drop points. I think we got the win. Yeah, fair enough. It should have been 3-0. And I liked Bamford's Instagram post, and it was he did a little subtle reference about the referee saying, "Oh, it should have stood." And I just think if the players are like that, they just know the officiating at the minute is just at an all-time low.
Yeah, it felt as it went on after those 2 goals as well, when 10 minutes to go, we're bringing on Gilavogi, and we're kind of dropping further and further.
the heat they brought and the pressure, it was just absolutely insane. Like Middlesbrough, well-run side. Like Carrick's done an amazing job with them. I give him credit, but if they took the chances, if that's against a Sheffield or a Burnley who have got that attacking threat, I just think they'd have scored 4 quite easily. And I think we got lucky with, in terms of, like, they were just getting in behind, and I think we just got that a bit lucky. I think Rodon and Ampadu, sublime. Like, they put their absolute all into it. And I just think it comes to the point where, like, yeah, Darlow is good. I rate him. But I also think the confidence of the defence now Mesley's dropped. I think that's a big boost, especially for Rodon. Like, he doesn't like Mesley. But I just think it's just a big confidence booster, and everyone just tries that like 10% more. And I think it was evident yesterday in the first 10 minutes, but I thought we were still pretty poor. And I think it comes, if we don't go up this season, Farke's to blame, in my opinion, because it's just not good enough, especially with the squad that he has. It's not good enough, in my opinion.
I think the noticeable thing was, even though looking at the stats, they had 17 efforts, 2 on target.
Yeah.
I then even think, like you say, if they had scored, you probably would have gone, it has been coming. I think Burzog, the amount of chances or amount of times it was like flashed across, that was like ridiculous. And then Azaz, when he had 7 yards of space, so much time on the ball, and he just hits it over. It's like, against Burnley or against Sheffield United, you are probably punished by that. Even some of the ones that have, like, you think maybe if like a Josh Sargent in that position scores, that does Borja Sainz for Norwich score. That did these other forwards find the back of the net? 'Cause I saw a lot of Borough fans saying that if Latela, who obviously scored 2 in the reverse fixture last season, he probably would have taken a couple of those chances.
I think he definitely would, especially a lot came on the right, and I thought that's where Latela plays, don't it? And I just think it's just a striker's instinct, in my opinion. Like, you shouldn't be missing from inside the box, in my opinion. You shouldn't definitely not be flashing it across the goal. And I think we did get lucky, like very lucky. On another day, that could have been another 4-3, in my opinion, if the goal stood, and obviously their chances went. And I think it was definitely a game for a neutral, an amazing game. Like, there's a lot of talking points, but I think if you're coming from a Leeds fan or a Middlesbrough fan, I think you're a bit. For us, we're a bit chuffed, but also they're a bit downright, because they did play well, and like, that's a team that the proper came at us. And I just think, like, they have the quality, like they do. And it's just, you have one of them days, it's like, we miss 5 against a lot of teams. It just doesn't happen. But I think in terms of results for us, it couldn't have gone any better.
Yeah, I think especially going into the later stages, with us being the late kickoff, you think, God, Sheffield United have lost, Burnley have drew. Yeah. The amount of points we've dropped when other teams have dropped points is, like, frankly ridiculous. And it just felt like the deeper we were sitting, the longer it went on. Even that one that flashed across goal, Darlow missed it and Byron headed it behind. You were just like, it's coming.
To put it simple, it's the Leeds way. We never make it easy, and I think teams around us know that. And I think we have scored a lot in added time. Like, there's been amazing limbs this year that I've gone to and stuff, and it comes to the point where I feel like the pressure's too much, and especially last night it was just attack v defence. And I just think if I'm a manager and I'm looking at how to punish Leeds, I'd be looking at yesterday's game against Middlesbrough. I just would. Like, the midfield was just obliterated by Middlesbrough players. And I think in 3 games' time, especially if we've got like Bristol, like, they will be pushing us. Like, they are very well run. And I just think it comes to a point where you have to admit, fair enough. But because it's too late in the season to make mistakes, you take a 3 points in a 1-0. It's not how good you play. You just have to grind out results, in my opinion.
Yeah, we don't. I feel like, especially across this season and even last, we don't win enough ugly games. No. There isn't enough grinding. Sheffield United have been doing it all season, not playing well or getting lucky in things, but getting the wins. Yeah. Whereas if we don't play well, we don't win.
Yeah,
that's basically been the mantra of this season. And it's nice to get one of them over the line
yeah,
and then go, it was out of our hands and now it's really back in our grasp.
Yeah, and I think what tops it is it annoyed a lot of Sheffield United fans, especially because they lost. And obviously now they've got back-to-back losses. I think that I've always said they will have a blip. They've not had a run of games where they've dropped points or anything. A bit like Ipswich last year when we always said, look, they'll drop points, and they just never did. And I think Sheffield United are now having that, they're feeling that pressure because they have a young squad and it is very young. And I'm surprised, to be fair, because Wilder basically slated them yesterday, saying they're too young for the shirt and they can't handle the pressure. And I think what differs it to this season is we've been there before. We've been in this 3-horse race. It's going to be a team gets 90 points and doesn't get promoted. It's going to be heartbreak for whoever finishes third because they will not get promoted if it's us, Sheffield United or Burnley. Whoever finishes third does not get promoted, in my opinion.
Yeah, it genuinely does feel like that. It feels quite similar, obviously, to last season when we played Middlesbrough and got that 4-3 over the line, and you went, we're nowhere near finished, we're nowhere near done, and it is going to go right down to the wire. And I think
it is.
That fixture at Turf Moor is going to be one where we might actually be looking at a Burnley win being a cracking result.
But I think for my question for you, what would the best result be in terms of what would benefit us the most? If we get 3 points, it stays the same. It's 2 points separating 3 sides. What is the best result?
If it stays at this exact same gap of what we are currently standing with 5 games left, I would want Burnley, because in all due respect, the title means nothing if third is a possibility.
Yeah,
just that gap to third is so much. It's worth so much more. The money difference between first and second, or any kind of prestige, it doesn't really matter in my opinion. I'd love that gap to be much further. So then when we play Bristol City, would a point then be enough to get us to the final day of season basically up? Because our goal difference is the extra point.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
The extra point.
But I think Easter weekend will be the major thing for me. I go back to when we nearly got promoted in, I think it was in 2018, Bielsa's first season, and we lost to Wigan, and I was there, and I was just torn to pieces because I think such short games in like such little time, I think teams crumble, and especially if you come off a loss and then 2 days later you're away. You don't have any confidence going into it, especially if it's against a team in the bottom 6. You're going to be struggling, and I think it's mentality of the players now is crucial. And I think for us we're okay because we've done this before, but also the pressure of our fans onto the players is 10 times more than anyone else. And I think Sheffield United, if they lost yesterday, but I was looking through the comments, they're not fussed. But if that was us, Farke's head would be called for, wouldn't it? I think we're very resilient in what we want because we are the best team in the league, and I think we've been punished by sloppy mistakes, whether it's Farke's management, Meslier, or silly little errors. And I think we do deserve to go up. We are the better team, but it is the Championship, and anything could happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the belief in it. We know we're the best team in the Championship, and we felt that basically all season. I think that run of games where it was like, obviously the Burnley away fixture was one of the worst games.
It was horrendous. In the rain, it was awful.
But when you navigate Burnley away, Sheffield United away, and Sunderland at home with 7 points out of 9, you then go, who is to stop us in this division? Because it's a 3-horse race, and like I know Burnley have said, the top scorers in Championship haven't scored against us, but I always thought their results had bite them back more. But like you say, it looks like Sheffield United are the ones being bitten a bit more by this.
Yeah, I think at this stage of the season, especially with how close the relegation battle is, you don't want to face anyone in the bottom 7. I don't think. Like, they're the teams that are gritty. They will sit back. They'll let you, because I think we struggled a lot against low block this year, and I think obviously if we get promoted, it's different because teams come at us, and I think we did look dangerous last night because Middlesbrough came at us. They have something to play for. And I just think if teams sit in, Farke doesn't have the answer. And we missed that little spark from Rutter or Somerville last year where they did something. And this year with Aaronson in the middle for some unknown reason, I just think we lack that little bit of threat. And I think Solomon has his moments, James has his moments, but it's just not enough. Like, there's not enough individual quality, in my opinion, just to have that little bit of spark.
Yeah, I think we miss, especially in like attacking midfield, like you say, if you combine the ability of James and Solomon with Pablo Hernandez, with Samuel Saiz, you're missing that spark who has that killer box. I think Pirro's suffering as well, because I feel like he gets a lot of criticism that is maybe a bit harsh, because he doesn't touch the ball a lot.
No.
But if there's any chance in the 18-yard box, you want him to be there on the end of it. But if all the creativity's going wide and then he's just stood there waiting for the ball, he can't really do a lot. And I think that says a bit more about Aaronson and going, he's got something like 8 goals this season, but I can't think of many that have been from further out than about 10 yards.
Like 8 yards, I think, But we'll getting on to Aaronson, I don't know how many more chances that man can have in terms of being selective of the likes of Nonto, even dropping Perot into that 10 and giving like Bamford a shot or Joseph a shot. I think we really struggle through the middle, and I think just go back to Luton away and where it was such a condensed game, like through the middle, and Nonto couldn't do a thing. And it's not his fault. Like, it was just horrendous to watch, especially through the middle. And I just think, how can he still start him? Like, what are we seeing that's different to what Farke's seeing? And I think all he does is run. Yeah, give him credit. But he doesn't, he has 2 assists all season. And coming from a number 10, that just can't happen in my, like, it just can't.
Yeah, you compare the output of Rutter and him, and it's basically the inverse. Rutter didn't score a lot, but he gave you that spark and he gave you that bit of magic in the centre, whereas this year we haven't got that. And the wide men have stepped up, but the wide men were also very good last season. Somerville player a year. And you just want that thing to unlock a low block, because we will play Oxford, who I must admit beat Sheffield United in the exact way I would expect them. If they beat us, it would come from a long throw-in or a set piece, and then they sit back. We need the ability to unlock that, because then we'll play them. We'll play Stoke, who will again be grasping for points. And although Plymouth will be down on final day of season, they'll probably want a good accord in front of their own fans.
Yeah, of course.
They're going to go down and rebuild.
Yeah, it's so tough. It's like, I feel a lot for Nonto. I feel a lot for Ramazan. Like, they are the players you want. Like, you can tell. Like, same with Solomon, but I think he's just dropped off in form a little bit. I just think our team. We just have a hole in the middle because of Aaronson. Like, he's useless. He's absolutely useless. And how he still has a contract at Leeds, I have no idea. Like, I just think Nonto in that 10, he'll run at someone, or he'll do a little flick, or he'll just have that something there. You're like, oh, right, okay, well, you can't really train to defend that. Like, evident with Rutter last year, the moments that he did were just, you just in awe of him. And I just think this year we're too predictable, because we don't trust Aaronson and we almost miss him. We just bypass him and just go to the sides. And I think teams are learning that and then focusing more to isolate Solomon and James and just basically say, right, look, you go through the middle or you don't go anywhere, because that's what Luton did really well, where the middle of the park was just horrendous. And I'd hate to be on that. I'd have hated to be on that pitch, because you'd have had about 2 seconds to react. And I just think it's just, we need someone. And I think if Nonto can step up, he will be there for the remainder of the season.
And I feel like, well, with Preston, will we get a similar game to like we did at Deepdale, where it's in the middle, they're kicking us a lot and they're doing, anything to get a point, because that's basically what it feels like the majority of the teams do. Especially if even under Ryan Lowe last year, when we beat him with last-minute penalty, it still felt you've been kicked, you've been thrown about, and it's just breaking up play, and we need to be able to just we need to beat teams like that if we're going to be good enough to go up. You can't beat. We've beaten every good front playing team this season, and then it's the ones that are sitting back that we just can't beat.
I think teams know that around us, and I do think teams play. It's Leeds. It's a big club. Like stadiums will sell out, and I think we know that, and I feel like it adds more pressure just to the fact that we will get absolutely battered at times. And I think every team that's been at the bottom has had the moments where you're like, oh, that's a big team to score. And I think we let ourselves a lot against rubbish clubs who just sit back, and we almost give in to them. They're like dangling a carrot in front of us, and we're like, right, okay, come on, we've got this. And then all they'll do is long ball over the top, they'll score because Meslier can't catch. And I just think teams know that. And I feel like they've got that something where they know that's our weak point, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think, well, it's 12:30, which never bodes well with us this season. But it's just more. We need to show the same energy we had in February and even though the Christmas period was surprisingly a better period for us.
It's the best Christmas period we've ever had, I think, in the league in the last 10 years or so, definitely.
And then it's just where has the energy gone? I think we saw more from James last night than what we had in a number of weeks. I know he scored against Luton, but that was like we got the one bit of magic out of the game, and then that was the only thing we kind of got. And it's just like we need to if we score early, we usually do well. But it's about compounding that with further chances, hopefully further legal goals as opposed to the officials, and just kind of kick on, because it's in our hands, and we had the chance where it couldn't have been, and it's now back to us. We can't have it.
No.
We can't have it fall through our fingers for a second season in a row.
I think if it does fall through our fingers, I believe that is it for us. I think we're almost banking on going up this year, because the teams that are coming into the Championship are it's going to be one of the best Championship seasons as a neutral for a very, very long time. And for Leeds to be with the likes of Leicester, Southampton, Birmingham, probably Wrexham, then you've got Sunderland or Bristol or West Brom, and I think it's going to be very, very, very hard to get out of the league. I just think it's now or never. It's do or die.
There's going to be one very good team, like last season. There's going to be one very good team that doesn't go up.
Yeah.
And last year it was us. This year we cannot allow it to be us, because we've seen what's happened with the relegated teams. They'll get all payments, they'll go straight back up. But then you've got the highest spending League One teams in history that are then going to come into our division, and then that will leave a Sunderland or a Sheffield United or whoever doesn't go up, and then fighting in and amongst them, and it will just be the worst Championship to be a part of, a promotion race. It'll be incredible entertainment, and Sky will make millions off the back of it will be in this division, but we've just got to work. We're not the one giving them that fun.
No, and I think in the next 5 games it is key, and I think it just doesn't help with this weekend. With another 12:30 kickoff, obviously Sky are just banking money off us, because they know Leeds fans around the world will watch, and it's just they don't care. Like, obviously for us, a 12:30 kickoff is like the world's going to end, because I think our record, at 12:30 kickoffs we've won 2 in this season at 12:30, and it's not a good time for us. But I think that bit of fight we showed throughout the week again last night, I think it's Preston that they've got not to play for. I think we will do well. But I don't know. But I just want to ask your score prediction before I tell mine, just so I don't sound a bit stupid.
Well, I think it's 12:30, but I've got to bank on the fact we have had a good result. We had a resilient defensive performance, which has given us a lot more confidence. And you hope now, with the chances we did make, even though we only had the one goal actually count last night. I think a 2-0 would do. 2-0 Leeds with just as it will be cagey because every home game's cagey at this stage.
Yeah.
And if we go extended periods with not much happening or not scoring, we're going to get on their back. But we've got to get it over the line now.
Yeah.
It's literally by any means necessary, we need to get it over. And I feel like 2-0, an early goal to settle us, a very extended nervy period where everything's the end of the world, and then one to settle us at the end. But
Yeah.
that's my hopeful and praying prediction.
I think I agree with your prediction we'll win. However, it won't. It's never plain sailing, and I think the Leeds United crowd they'll bombard us because it's a game where we have to win. Every games we have to win, and I think Preston are okay. They're not amazing. The reverse fixture on I think it was late 2024.
Yeah, just before Christmas. Yeah,
I think they're a tough team, but I think away they're rubbish. I honestly think we'll win 3-4-0. Ease. I think it'll be comfortable. But I think you're right with the caginess. Like it'll be the first. If there's no goal in 15 minutes, I think okay, right. Nerves will start kicking in, and I think the players feel that when there's a bit of nerve and the atmosphere is a bit rubbish. I think the players know that. But with James being out with a hamstring injury, it's who starts. In my opinion, it's Nonto, but James is such key factors in the Leeds side. Like he tracks back. He's also very, very quick. And I think with Nonto coming in, yeah, it's good and he'll have that bit of fight to him. But like I say, I think he'll be plain sailing 3-4-0 in my opinion.
that's bold, but yeah. I do genuinely hope you're right. Because we just, it's all about results. No, it could be 4-0, it could be 1-0, it could be a hat-trick from someone, it could be an own goal from whoever they have, from another Jack Watmore own goal to get us over the line. But that's the result. We need a win, and let's bring it on.
I know, yeah, no, it will be a good game, and I think if we get that win, it puts pressure on the teams around us, in my opinion, and I do think we will get that win.
Well, thank you, Ellis, for joining me here, and thank you very much, you guys, for watching. Let us know if you have any predictions, if you have any thoughts about Leeds. We're more than happy to hear it. And yeah, thank you very much.
Well, cheers, guys.